Welcome to Lobster's list for October 29th, 2012. Number 1. Forced from Beta Dwarf is a co-op arena game with an interesting mechanic described as reverse football. You can call a talking orb to your position, and the orb activates shrines that it touches. A party of up to 4 players will have to work together to survive the monsters that spawn. You can pre-order for $15 after the $12 early bird tier runs out. The game is being made with Unity for PC, Mac, and Linux. The developers also want to be able to port to consoles. The game has been in development for 2 years, and the developers have been dedicated enough to have the team crammed together, living and working, under one roof. There's a lot more I could talk about for this game, and how I can use it as an example of the type of project that I'd like to see get funded. Number 2. Interstellar Marine's Prologue from 0 Point Software is a sci-fi, co-op, non-linear, first-person shooter. This game has been in the news many times since announced in 2005, and has been suffering from development problems like having layoffs in 2009. The team has released many small demos in the past, kept their business transparent, and built up an involved community that has kept their game alive. The premise is that an underground training environment tests soldiers with staged alien race first contact scenarios in preparation for humans expanding beyond our solar system. There's a $10 early bird tier for a copy of the game, and a $20 tier after the first is gone. They're hoping to finally be able to release the game for PC, Mac, and Linux. It would be nice to see a happy ending to this story, but a $600,000 goal is a big amount. Number 3. FleetCOMM Operation Vigrior Reloaded from Mercenary Games is the return of FleetCOMM to Kickstarter. I was a backer of the first successful campaign. The first one did not reach its stretch goal for mobile support, and that is one of the reasons they've returned. You control a fleet in space that has ships rearranged into pre-programmed formations to perform different tactics, such as focus firing all their weapons onto one spot. You can save up to 7 formations that you made yourself. A playable demo is out now for PC, with the Linux demo coming soon. Its target platforms are PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, and PlayStation 3. By pledging $20, you can receive the game on multiple platforms. This game has been a promoter of the OmniPass reward system that I'm a fan of because you don't need to rebuy the game for all your compatible devices. I've also seen OmniPass tiers for projects like RO and Evolot be more popular than the tiers with just one copy. Number 4. Shadowgate is a remake of the 1987 fantasy adventure game of the same name. This is concept footage. Navigate a dangerous castle on a quest to assemble the Staff of Ages. It is being developed for PC, Mac, iOS, and Android tablets. By pledging $15, you can pre-order the game DRM free for PC or Mac. The original creators of Shadowgate are involved in seeking a goal of $120,000. This is lower than what a lot of similar projects from game designers with a good history have been asking for in the past. It looks like they have a small but realistic scope for the size of this game. Number 5. BIONITE Origins describes itself as a spiritual successor to the 1998 version of the game Battlezone. Customize the loadouts of hover tanks and fight off enemy craft to destroy structures. It is being developed for PC, Mac, and iOS with the possibility of supporting Linux through Wine. You can be a beta tester at the $5 tier with your name in the credits. The $10 tier adds a copy of the final game. There will be single player, and players will be able to host their own servers for multiplayer. You will have to pay a small subscription to get into official ranked servers that track statistics. That subscription will help pay for the creation of future content. I like how the hover tanks move, and I didn't get motion sick watching the alpha gameplay. The goal is a low $9,500, and it looks like it could be a fun game. Now on to honorable mentions. Hero U, Rogue to Redemption is a turn-based RPG for PC and Mac. The project creators worked in the past on such game series as Quest for Glory and Dr. Brain. The protagonist tried to be a thief, but was caught and sent to Hero U. He has a chance to redeem himself as a rogue, or he could choose to join the Thieves Guild. I fondly remember playing the island of Dr. Brain when I was younger. This is getting an honorable mention because of how vague the project still is for me, as I haven't played any of the Quest for Glory games. Mercenary Dark is a spaceship action RPG where you play as a mercenary in a randomized universe. Combat places importance on the turrets equipped to ships. There is a crafting system, and you can mine asteroids for materials. The $25 tier includes a copy of the game. It is using the Unity engine, so it should support PC, Mac, and Linux. This game reminded me of how much I like SolarWinds Episode 1 for DOS. Beasts and Blades from Seattle Tech is a turn-based 3D RPG. A team of 5 characters are sent by royalty to investigate strange disappearances and eventually discover their king is involved with some dark forces. There is a playable version for PC linked to from the project page, while a version for Android is already on the Google Play Store. It is being developed for PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. Ouya support is also being looked at. The $5 tier includes a digital copy of the game. I hope they replace the music, as it gets harder to listen to after hearing it for the 100th loop. Skywings is a short film trying Kickstarter again. The story has a father and son trying to make it through a checkpoint while humanity is at war with aliens. The military is trying to fight back with mecha suits that transform into aircraft. I covered this back in my June 19th episode. The first campaign only raised $12,595 of its $30,000 goal. Since then, work has been done on the cockpit to be used for filming. A digital copy of the script, access to the production blog, and links to the creator's past movies are included at the $5 tier. The DVD tier is at $25 and includes a cloth patch, but is only available to be shipped within the US. Throne Tactics is a free-to-play tactics RPG for iOS and Android, allowing asynchronous player versus player matches. For $1, your in-game guild will be identifiable as a founding guild. At the $8 tier, there is an experience boost and 5 free class unlocks. I've said before that this genre is one of my favorites. An interesting design choice is that the overworld map, like the one in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, will be used as a server lobby. Boss Monster is a card game where you play as a boss monster overseeing a dungeon you build with rooms. Monsters, spells, and trap cards are used to wipe out invading heroes. You can pre-order a copy for $20, with shipping outside the US requiring an additional $10. At the time of this recording, they have already met their minimum goal, but they are trying to reach stretch goals. Anastasiya from Whale Team is a text-adventure game with puzzles and elements from the visual novel genre. The plot involves an investigation into a missing Russian man in Seattle, exploration of cyberspace, and a forgotten artificial satellite known as Anastasiya. There is a demo linked to from the project page. A copy of the game for PC is at the $5 reward tier. The globe and terrain graphics caught my attention. I also noticed that Antarctica was mislabeled as Arctic. Gerztron for PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android is an arcade shooter with optional local co-op and online leaderboards. The $1 tier includes the game's prototype, the $5 tier is for the iOS or Android version, and the $10 tier adds the desktop version. Pixel RU Squared is a puzzle platformer for PC and possibly Linux with gravity shifting and color barriers mechanic. To pass through a barrier, the pixel you play as must be changed to that color by finding other colors to add to your current one. If an enemy pixel is made white by adding the appropriate color to it, it becomes a dead pixel. You can pre-order the game for $8 with only 256 slots available at that tier. There's a playable alpha out now. A concern is that the color theory and mixing colors can become really complicated really fast. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps those projects.